Hi, my name is Angel. Welcome back to my channel. As you guys can see, I have a brand new TBR cart. I am joining the TBR cart crew, and honestly, it's about time because right now my TBR is taking up space on my bookshelf and I need more room for the books that I've already read. My read books are getting smushed. They are leaning and it's just really not a vibe. So we're gonna clear up some space on the bookshelf today and go through my entire physical TBR and add them to my new book cart. I was going to do like a little part at the beginning of me putting this together, but it turned out to be more of a chore than I expected. It just wasn't cooperating with me, but we got it put together, so let's just go ahead and get started. The last time I did a video going through my physical TBR was in August, so there have been some changes since then. There are definitely some books that have been on my TBR for a while and will probably stay on my TBR for a while until I unhaul them. But right now, we're not going to worry about those. So first of all, I'm going to show you guys 5 books that I have that are on my TBR but are not going on this cart because these are books that I've been keeping in my bedroom so that I can be more inclined to pick them up. These are my priority reads right now, or books that I want to prioritize right now. So we have Annie Bot by Sierra Greer, Grove Hollow Metamorphosis, which I am going to be reading for a vlog, but I've just been taking my time with reading recently, and By God's Hand You Shall Die by David Sodergren. You guys already know that I love him. Then we have How Spacesuit Will Travel by Robert Heinlein, which I've put it on so many monthly TBRs, but then just never got around to reading it. I get caught up with other things, but it's in my bedroom until I read it because I do want to read it. Same with this one, A Court of Frost and Starlight. I've been really taking my time with getting to this book. After the last one, A Court of Winds and Ruin, wasn't entirely my favorite. It wasn't my least favorite, but it was my least favorite so far that I've read in the series, but it wasn't like a book that I hated. It was okay. So this one I'm kind of like, I'm not feeling very, very strongly to pick it up right now. And then I also know that once I finish this, because it's so short, then I'll be on to the last book, which is really long and I'm a little bit nervous for. So those are 5 books that are on my physical TBR, but are not going on the cart. So to start with this, I think the best plan of action is probably to do my hardcovers up top because I don't know how well they will fit in these other shelves. So I'm going to start with everything that I have from Book of the Month. Okay, I think these are all my Book of the Month ones. This one is Book of the Month, but I actually thrifted it. That is A Good Marriage by Kimberly McCrate. So we'll just pop that up there. Then we have The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins, Kill for Me, Kill for You by Steve Kavanaugh, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I got that one because I never really knew a lot about it, but then when I heard more about what it was, I became more interested in it, and I was going to cancel my Book of the Month subscription anyways, but I still had a credit that I was waiting to use. So obviously I got Kill for Me, Kill for You, and then I got Annie Bot, which is over on the side. And I wanted to throw a couple of extras in there before I canceled, so I got that one, and then ended up getting Shark Heart, which I just recently read. And then my other Book of the Month book is Lisa Jewell, None of This Is True, so we're gonna put that up there as well. I'm gonna smush them together. Okay, so now I'm gonna put like my Aardvark ones. Stick with the theme of like monthly book subscription hardcovers. I also have 5 from Aardvark. So we have Rouge by Mona Awad. Don't kill me because I haven't read that book yet. I'm already like so upset with myself for not reading it yet. But one of these days, it is on my 20 books that I want to read this year, so I do have to read it. Then we have Midnight is the Darkest Hour by Ashley Winstead, which is also on that list, so I will be reading that at some point this year. Where You End by Abbott Caller, and also The Jinn Weighs 100 Years by Shubnam Khan. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. These two books were books that I had never heard of until they were Aardvark selections, and I just wanted to take a chance and grab those, and maybe I shouldn't do that because obviously they're still sitting on my TBR. My most recent one from Aardvark was The Garden by Claire Beams, which I had also never heard of until it was on Aardvark, but it sounds really, really interesting, and the like bookish aesthetic that people are posting looks so cool. So I have 3 more hardcovers. Obviously we're not going to be able to fit 3, well, we could probably fit 2 right here. So I'm going to put Wrong Place, Wrong Time by Gillian McAllister up here. Oh, maybe we won't be able to fit 2, I don't know. And then Upgrade by Blake Crouch. We could fit, okay. I'm just putting those 2 up there and not this one because I feel like those 2 are the ones that I'll probably be more inclined to read first. This one, The Anomaly by Michael Rutger, is one that I picked up at a thrift store. I had never heard of it, but I read the synopsis and it sounded really, really interesting to me. And then when I looked it up on Goodreads, like it's definitely got a high amount of readers, so it is a very loved book. So if you guys have read this, definitely let me know, but we're gonna put that down here. Okay, now those are up there. I don't know where to go next. I think maybe we could do this one. This is another hardcover. This is The Monster on the Road Is Me, which does not have a lot of readers. I got it from a little free library. I thought the cover looked really, really cool, and it sounded kind of interesting. I actually don't even remember what the synopsis is. It says, in this darkly comic debut novel, J.P. Romney explores the hauntingly long reach of betrayal and the unexpected strength we find when we are tested beyond our limits. So, sounds interesting. I still think that the cover is beautiful. I think that's all of my hardcovers. So now I guess we just throw some books in there and see what happens. Oh, that's a lie. I actually do have another hardcover. I have The Memory of Animals by Claire Fuller, which is another recent addition to my physical TBR. I got this a used copy for like $2. I absolutely love the cover. It's been on my like Goodreads TBR for a while, so I'm definitely excited to read that one. I actually, when I first signed up for Aardvark last year, they had this as a past pick, but it was sold out, or else I would have got it through Aardvark. But that's okay. It worked out anyways. So these are some paperbacks that I would say are like higher priority for me. When my physical TBR was on these shelves, the top shelf was more of my priorities than my bottom shelf, where I kind of shoved like stuff I don't want to read. So I guess we'll put these in here. I actually have 2 Adam Neville books, so I guess we could put those next to each other. We have Last Days by Adam Neville, and then we have The Reddening by Adam Neville. I really like Adam Neville's writing. I think he's really, really great when it comes to folk horror. Last Days specifically, I've heard, oh my god, it's so dusty. Last Days specifically, I have heard really, really good things about, so I'm excited to pick that up one day. Maybe I'll do it for October, I don't know. Good Girls Don't Die by Christina Henry, which I really need to get to because I actually just picked up her most recent release from the library and I still haven't even read that one yet, so we need to get to that. Then we have Rebecca, which is another one that is on my 20 books that I want to read in 2024. I am really excited to read that one. I've seen the movie, but I know obviously the book is going to be way, way better. So, okay, I grabbed some more paperbacks because I kind of want to put more horror together. So, what do we have? The Lords of Salem by Rob Zombie, which I didn't realize was a book until a little while ago, and my boyfriend kindly bought that for me for my birthday, perhaps. I've seen the movie, obviously. I think that he made the movie and then wrote the book after the movie with a ghostwriter or something, so we'll see how that goes. I have The Seep by Shauna Porter. I actually don't know a lot about the synopsis of this book, but I know that it's supposed to be absolutely disgusting. And I do want to do a vlog, hopefully this year, where I read just like the grossest books on my TBR. So this is one of them. There's a couple others that I have in mind for that. So if you know any gross, nasty books, let me know. Another recent addition to my TBR is Pine by Francine Toon, which is another book that I put on my 2024 TBR. So really excited to own it. I absolutely love the cover. I don't remember what the synopsis is. It says it's a Scotland crime debut. So it sounds like it's got a lot of things that I really enjoy, which is like the whole reason I added it to my TBR and put it on my 2024 TBR in the first place. Oh, hello. We have a small village surrounded by forest. It's Halloween night. This woman uses tarot cards. Daughters rebel and men quietly rage. I don't know. Sounds really interesting. We'll be reading it this year. I have Bones and All by Camille DeAngelis. I have not seen the movie yet because I wanted to read the book first, and the book is still in my TBR, so that's where we are with that. Stephen King, The Body, which is the novella that, what the fuck is the movie called? Stand By Me. The book that Stand By Me is based off of, which I love that movie. A lot of people in the world love that movie. See, I gotta now I'm gonna be ordering by size, and it's just not, hang on a second. I feel like I'm definitely going to be constantly rearranging this if I'm trying to do it by size. Okay, there we go. So then I have Perfume, The Story of a Murderer. I have Illuminate, which is sci-fi. I have some more books behind me. Perfume I don't think is technically horror, but it is strange. I've only seen the movie, so that's why I have the book here, but we'll put her up there, that's fine. And I'm gonna have to move that now that I'm ordering by size. So let's pull off some more books. So now we're getting into more of the lower priority books that I have, and books that I possibly will unhaul in the future, just because I kind of received some of these books as gifts, thrifted these books when I was first getting back into reading, and I was like, oh, I've seen that movie, I'll read the book, whatever. And then now I'm like, I don't actually want to read that, but we're gonna put them up here anyways. So I want to keep more priority books towards the top. So maybe I should put Illuminate, kind of thick. So I don't know, we could put something else there. Let's see. I think I'll do The Stolen Hours by Alan Eskins, which is the third book in a detective type of series. The first book was The Life We Bury, which I absolutely loved. I know that one's pretty popular. I don't know how many people have really continued in the series. This is one that's been on my TBR, and I put it on my 2024 TBR because I know if I don't read it, it's just going to sit there forever. So we're gonna put that up here. I'm gonna reorganize those by size. We're gonna move down to the last tier. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'm gonna show you everything that's going on that tier anyways. So let's see. Okay, so these are some that I do definitely still want to read. We have Shutter Island by Dennis Lehan. I don't know how you pronounce that. The only reason that this has been on my TBR for so long is because I've seen the movie multiple times, so the story and the twist and everything is still really fresh in my mind. So I want to put more time between when I've seen the movie to when I read this book, so hopefully I'll forget some of the smaller reveals and smaller twists that are going on, but I don't know, because the twist in this book or the movie, whatever, is so good. It's hard to forget about, but I do want to read the book still. Then I have Britt Maria Was Here by Frederick Bachman. I don't really know why this has been sitting on my TBR for so long, other than I've just been prioritizing other things, but I do like Frederick Bachman. That is one of the few books by him that I haven't read yet, so I still do want to read that. Then I have Sharks in the Time of Saviors by Kavai Strong Washburn, which has been sitting on my TBR with Molokai as well, because if you guys don't know, I am from Hawaii. I was born and raised there, so I do want to do a reading vlog where I read things set in Hawaii or from Hawaiian authors. So that's why these two are still here. Molokai, I don't know if this author is native Hawaiian or if he's even from Hawaii. But that'll be something that I want to look up before I do read this one, but I know it does deal with like important topics that did affect natives back in the day, so I do want to read that. I know this is a Hawaiian author and it does take place in Hawaii, so these two I do want to read, but I want to find some other books that are set in Hawaii or by native authors, and then I can read those all together in a vlog maybe. Okay, now we're getting into things that I'm like, I don't know if I still want to read these. This I do still want to read. This Explains Everything is a nonfiction book, deep, beautiful, and elegant theories of how the world works. This has been on my Goodreads TBR for a very long time. It was one of the first books that I added when I got the app, so I do want to read that. I did thrift it. I guess on that same note, we have The Inner Life of Animals, which is another nonfiction, and this is kind of in, not really like a series, but more of like a companion to his other book that was it should say on here, The Hidden Life of Trees, which I actually didn't like, but I still want to read this one because he's clearly a very educated author. I just don't think that I was prepared for that other book. Okay, here are 4 books that I may possibly unhaul at some point, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. We have Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. It does sound interesting to me, like the idea of this abandoned orphanage, mysterious island, like weird children, but I don't know why. It's just like in my brain, I'm like, I don't know if I still want to read that. So you guys can tell me if I should or not. The Virgin Suicides. This is one of those books where when I was first getting back into reading and trying to build more of a book collection, I got this at the thrift store because I had seen the movie, so I was like, oh, maybe I'll read the book. But now I don't know if I want to read the book because, to be honest, like I'm not the biggest fan of the movie, so I don't know why I thought I would want to read the book, but here she is on my physical TBR, whatever. Then we have Speak, which is not one that I'm like, oh, I don't want to read it. I have read it. I read it in high school, and I do think it'd be interesting to reread as an adult, especially with the subject matter in here. It's just one of those that I'm like, I don't know. Maybe one of these days I'll read it again. It's not a high priority for me. And then Touching Spirit Bear, I kind of got for the same reason. I read this book as a kid, and I remember really enjoying it. My brother really liked this book when we were kids, and I found it at the thrift store, and I was like, it'd be kind of funny to read it as an adult and see if I still feel the same way about it. But I think there is some controversy with this author and the way that he writes like native people and like native traditions. So I don't know if I actually want to read this anymore, but whatever. Okay, I have 4 more books that don't really fit into a category. These 2 are thrift finds. We have Bad Ronald by Jack Vance. The cover is something else. This is, I think it's about this boy who maybe he has a learning disability or something, but he ends up killing a woman, and then his mother wants to protect him, so she hides him in the house, but then his mother eventually dies and he is still hidden in the house, doesn't know how to care for himself or do anything, and this new family moves in with young children, and it's supposed to be really messed up and really disturbing, so I do want to read it at some point. It's just not a big priority for me. This one I got because like it just sounded interesting. It is called Leech Girl Lives. I think it's literally got 20 ratings on Goodreads, and it just gives me like old school weird sci-fi vibes, and that's why I picked it up. These 2 were both gifted to me by people that I know or friends of friends that have written books. So we have Long Climb Up to Find Home, and then this one is Shoebox Baby, which is like a memoir, I believe. So I do want to read these at some point. I don't know when that will be, but I will read them. This one doesn't fit, so we're just gonna put it in the back. Then the only other books that I have on my physical TBR, I have this weird little Edgar Allan Poe story collection that somebody gave to me because they were like, I see you read a lot, so here you go. And I was like, okay. So I kind of want to hide that because it's like, the aesthetic is not right. Then I have the second and third book in the Dollenganger that's their name, right? Dollanganger Flowers in the Attic series. Because I don't have the first one. I couldn't find the first one. I still need to buy the first book. The messed up part about it is I actually had like the whole series at one point in my life and had I think I read the first 3, and then I got rid of them because I was like, I don't need these books anymore. Really. And I'm just realizing that they still have the little like thrift store stickers on them, so I'm peeling that off, but probably not a good idea. We're just gonna put those in there and pretend that didn't happen. So those have been sitting on my TBR because, like I said, I want to get another copy of the first book and then read the whole series together. So that is my whole entire physical TBR. I'm going to reorder these by height because I started doing that and now I feel like I need to keep up with that. So I'm not sure if you guys can see the entirety of it from the top to the bottom, but I will put in a picture if it doesn't show up on the video. But I'm going to count all of the books on my physical TBR and see where we're at right now. So I have 49 books on my physical TBR right now. I feel like that's not that different from the last time that I filmed one of these videos. So that's really nice to hear that my physical TBR is not getting out of hand. I am definitely reading things off of it. I am getting some new additions, but I'm really trying, like any new additions to my TBR, I'm really trying to make those used books or thrifted books because not only are they cheaper, but I feel like it's just better, more ethical. I don't know, that's just me. But that is my entire physical TBR. If there are any books on here that you guys think I'll really like or you really want to see me read, let me know if I need to prioritize any of them. But with all of that being said, thank you so much for watching and hopefully I will see you guys next time.